maybe March you're gonna have to pay $6,000 on stupid tax. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So for today's topic, I'm going to talk about how I almost lost $6,000 trying to buy a new 2022 C8 Corvette from this dealership. So, full disclaimer, I did get my $6,000 back from the dealership, but I am making this video so if you are in the C8 market, you don't make the same mistake that I did. So, if you do not know, the C8 mid-engine Corvette released in mid-2019, and I waited for a couple of years hoping that the price would drop down, but due to the crazy car market that's out there now, price never dropped, even for the used ones. So when I did my research, I found out that I had two options. One is to go to a dealership which sells at MSRP, but I had to wait for about maybe like 10 to 15 months to procure an allocation. An allocation is an order which allows you to spec your own car. And the option two was to pay a markup and get the car quicker. I was okay with option two because I wanted the car sooner. So I did a little bit of research and found out through Corvette C8 Forum that there's a thread which had list of all dealerships that sells Corvette at MSRP or not. Here's a few screenshots of that. So it's the Corvette Forum, and the thread is named official list of dealers at MSRP or not. And they have about 100 dealerships. All the green ones, or the ones that sell at MSRP, and the red ones have a sticker. There's about 100 dealerships, and I started calling each of them and asked them basically if they have an allocation and also how much over sticker are they trying to sell. And most of the dealerships answered me between $15,000 to $30,000 over sticker, and they had a wait time between 4 and 12 months. And towards the end of the day, I had called in a small dealership from Arkansas, and the salesman answered, and I basically introduced myself, basically told him that I am in the market to purchase a C8 Corvette, and what's the markup and what's the duration from the date of the order to delivery date. And he basically said they do have an allocation, but they sell for $7,000 over stickers. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, $7,000 over sticker is not bad considering the other dealerships that are trying to charge 15 to 30. So to me, that's a steal. And on top of that, the timeline that he told me was between 4 to 8 weeks. I was like, wow, that's so quick. So it's almost like too good to be true. And I asked him, like, hey, how are you able to do that? Like, that's so quick. And he basically said they have an allocation for that month and there's nobody in the line. So I thought, since it is a small dealership, there's not a lot of people in line to buy a C8 from them. So probably maybe what he's saying is in fact true. But I did ask him a couple of times that, hey, are you sure about that? And he did confirm that the delivery time based on the past few months is between 4 to 8 weeks. So I was like super excited. I was so happy that day, and I was ready to put my deposit down. I even sent my spec sheet to. So the next day comes, the salesman that I spoke with the day before, he sends me an email with a contract basically saying that I'm gonna have to pay the $6,000 agreed price over sticker as a deposit, and that's gonna be non-refundable. I would have to admit that I was a little desperate, and I did trust the guy. I decided to make the payment even though the contract was so one-sided. That's where I fucked up. And my cautionary advice to all the people who are trying to buy a C8 is to never sign a contract that's so one-sided. To me, in my case, the contract did not specify when he's going to be able to deliver. All it said was a 2022 Corvette C8 allocation, and the markup is $6,000 over sticker, and the total price is so and so, and here's my contract. Everything went well. The salesman was super communicative at that time, but in the back of my mind, I always felt that, okay, it's too good to be true. Maybe I need to verify through another source. So I used the C8 Corvette Forum, and I basically opened up a thread asking, hey, there's this dealership who are selling an allocation for $6,000 to $7,000 over sticker with the delivery time of 4 to 8 weeks. That's unheard of. Is that true, or can that be done, or can that be achieved? So one of the members from the Corvette Forum had messaged me after reading my thread that they basically bought a coupe C8 from that specific dealership, and he had waited for about 9 to 10 months at that time. He basically got a year before, and he was going to reach out to the dealership again because the wait times are so low, like basically 4 to 8 weeks is nothing, and he was going to upgrade to a convertible. So he had called the dealership, but he talked to a sales manager who sold him the car before, and the sales manager told this guy that it's going to be a 6 to 7 month wait. So after speaking with the sales manager, the guy who I talked to from the forum reached back out to me basically saying, hey, it's not going to be a 4 to 8 weeks, it's going to be a 6 to 7 month wait. That's what I'm hearing from the dealership. So I was like, whoa, that's not what I was told. I'm paying this price over sticker to get the car quicker, right? So if I have to wait 6 to 7 months, I might as well wait 10 months and pay at sticker, right? So it doesn't make sense. So I was a little bit shocked. So I contacted my sales guy again, and he said he's going to reach out to his manager and get back to me on what the situation is. A day passes, and then he calls me back basically saying, I apologize, it's a mistake. He did not know that there was a waiting list. The actual wait time is now 6 to 7 months. And I was like, what? I just asked you multiple times before I paid the deposit, and you said there was nobody in front of me. I was the only one. And now you're telling me something different. And you even confirmed the same with your owner. So basically you flat out lied. Now that I called you out, you're trying to clean it up, basically saying you were not aware and you made a mistake. And okay, so I'm like, I can't do 6 to 8 months waiting time and still pay $6,000 over sticker. So let me have my deposit back and let me find a different dealership, because how things are going, you were not being ethical, you were not being truthful about it, so I don't want to do business with you, right? So I was trying to exit out, and I was just asking for my deposit back. So the guy said, okay, I'll talk to my owner of the dealership and get the deposit back to you in a day or so. A couple days passes, no response from the guy, so I had to call him, and he never answers the phone. So I text him, and then he texts me back after a few hours basically saying he's working on it and the owner is out of town, so it's going to be a further delay. I was slightly irritated at that point because I was already lied to and manipulated, but I understood that, I mean, there's going to be people who go on vacation and stuff, so let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's trying to fix the situation, right? So the following week passed, and I can't get a hold of this guy. I call him, he don't answer. I text him, and then maybe towards the end of the day he responds basically saying he's still working on it. And I was like, okay, let me get the email of the manager through the website, and maybe he will fix the situation directly and faster, right? So I get the email, I go to the dealership's website, I get the employee structure, and I get the email of the manager, and I email him. So at this point, 2 weeks have passed since they got my money, and none of these guys are responding to me proper. I've emailed the owner, emailed the salesman, emailed the sales manager. Nobody's fixing the situation for me. They're just giving me a runaround. So I had paid my $6,000 through a credit card. So the next step that I could do to fix the situation on my own is to dispute the charge. So I have disputed the charge under malpractice. with my credit card company. And when you dispute a charge, if you're not aware, they give a certain time for the dealership to prove their side of the story, and they ask me for my side of the story, and they make a resolution or decision from that. This whole process takes about 30 to 45 days, and the credit card company then makes a decision. So the dealership had my money all this time. They never communicated with me back, and 2 months passes, and I have another blow where the credit card company sided with the dealership because I signed this agreement contract, right? So I was like, wow. At this point, 2 months have passed. I've not heard back from the sleazy dealership and the shitty salesman that sold me a lie. And I was like, okay, maybe this year, maybe March, you're gonna have to pay $6,000 on stupid tax because I signed such a shitty one-sided contract and not being aware of what's going on. And this happened in February of 2022. So fortunately for me, they wouldn't be able to get a 2022 allocation no more. This would have to be transferred to a 2023 model year allocation, and that would be in breach of the contract. So that saved my ass. I called the dealership back, talked to the sales manager this time, and I basically told them that, hey, you guys are in breach of contract. If I don't get my money back, I'm gonna have to contact the attorney dealership from your state and open up a complaint. And I think they realized that they were in the wrong and they didn't want negative publicity. So this time around, they agreed to refund my money back. I guess after I said that, I think they realized that they are in breach of contract. So if they go to a court, they will lose. And they are such a small dealership, so they don't want negative publicity over $6,000. And if litigated, they will lose, right? So I think that's when they are like, okay, well, now we have to send the money back. I guess that at that time, they were like, okay, we have to return this guy his money. We don't have a choice, so we'll give it back, right? So I got my money back. So I guess from this story, the 3 things that I would say that I've learned is, number 1 is to get the contract details in order, like get more details, not just a vague one-sided contract. So number 2, get referrals and reviews for the dealership. Make sure it's a trusted dealership, has a history of good service, right? So number 3, do not get desperate. I know it's a crazy market, but when you become desperate, you start to make mistakes that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So those are the things that I learned. Hopefully, if you are in the C8 market, you get what you wanted without getting ripped off or taken for a ride like myself. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.